Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. This is Sandnes Garn Duo. This 55% merino wool, 45% Pima cotton yarn features 27 colors. The colorway that we chose is 3543 Warm Brown. This 50-gram skein with 115 meters or 125 yards works up as a DK weight yarn. The suggested gauge on a US 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles is 22 stitches per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. For our swatch, I will be using a 4 millimeter needle size. In today's video, we're going to review and score Sandnes Garn Duo using our 5 categories, which are availability, softness, traction, durability, and cost, to help you decide if this is the best yarn for you and your next project. Stay tuned until the end for a few pattern recommendations as well. Would you like to see how all of our yarns compare to one another or enter to win our monthly giveaway? Join our free newsletter linked in the description box below. Let's get started. For availability, we give Duo a score of 3.5 out of 5. Sandnes Garn is a Norwegian brand, but it is still very loved here in the States. Unfortunately, it's not sold on any larger craft websites, but that just means that you get to support smaller yarn shops online like Wool & Company. Maybe because it's a summer yarn rather than a merino like Double Sunday is why this one's not quite as popular. Regardless, it's not the most difficult to get your hands on if you're wanting to try it out. For softness, we give it a score of 4.1 out of 5. With this yarn being a 55-45 blend of merino wool and Pima cotton, it very easily could have gone either way of being too dry or on the softer side. But if you are familiar with Pima cotton, you may know that it's one of the finest and softest cotton varieties, so we had a little bit of high hopes for this one. It was soft, but not too soft, and certainly not a common dry feeling, if that makes sense. I was pleased that this one wasn't overly drying or irritating to my skin. For comparison, it is softer than Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, and not quite as soft as the Fiber Co. Luma. I'd say it's pretty comparable to Concept by Katya Cotton Yak. For a micron count or softness scale rating, I'd say it's around a 22 micron count, so just hardly outside of that typical merino softness range, but it's definitely not scratchy either. I think it's a pretty good happy medium of softness considering the 2 fibers. For its appearance, this yarn didn't take on a super woolly look, but the merino did give the cotton a noticeable amount of softness and bounce to it. Up close, you can also see the different colors or subtle heathering that make up this yarn. It could be user error when blocking, but it almost felt like the yarn got less soft and more dry when blocking. Have you experienced this before with this yarn? Leave us a comment if so. When it comes to breathability, cotton and merino are both breathable fibers, so you shouldn't have to worry about overheating in this yarn. It could be a great option to consider if you live in warmer climates or even just as a summer yarn. For traction, we give it a score of 4.5 out of 5. It was a pleasure getting to work with this yarn. There wasn't any splitting, it had a nice amount of bounce and springiness, which I have a preference for. You can see the slight looser twist of the fibers, but they're just tight enough that they didn't cause any issues. So because of this, I think it could work well for both knitting and crochet. For durability, we give it a score of 4 out of 5. As far as yarns go, cotton is a very durable choice. It has a high tensile strength, meaning that it is incredibly long-lasting. Now, cotton does tend to stretch and drag when it gets wet, as it soaks up water and gets heavy. It also doesn't hold its shape as you would expect from an animal fiber. Now, merino yarns are more delicate since it is a softer, finer fiber, and I do imagine that the merino helps the cotton to hold its shape. When it came to the stress test, probably due to the softer merino content, we noticed that it did pill when feeling it with our hands, but not so much when trying to irritate it fabric to fabric. For cost, we give it a score of 2 out of 5. For being a 50-gram skein, you can expect to pay $10 US per skein. This breaks down to about 8 cents per yard, meaning a size medium sweater would cost you approximately $100, so more so on the higher price range if you ask me. Overall, we give Sandnes Garn Duo a score of 3.62 out of 5. I enjoyed this yarn to work with before and after blocking. I think it's a shame though that it is on the higher price side, but it is one to consider and budget for if you'd like a nice cotton merino yarn to work with. So we had a little look on Ravelry and wanted to share a few pattern recommendations with you, hopefully to inspire you if you're wanting to use this yarn for a project of your own. The first pattern is one of our own patterns and is called the Louisa Tee by Stitching Simply. It comes in 10 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 32 to 67 inches and recommends at least 2 inches of positive ease. It was originally designed using a 100% superwash merino yarn, but I think this cotton merino blend could suit it nicely. It is a seamless top-down raglan construction featuring an all-over moss stitch pattern, mid-length sleeves, and a 1x1 rib edge. The next pattern is the Storsand scarf by Sari Nordlund. It comes in one size with finished measurements of 57 inches or 145 centimeters long by 13 3/4 inches or 35 centimeters wide. It is a kerchief that is designed to be worn in multiple ways. It is started at the tip of the scarf, then increased on every right side row until the full width before decreasing your way back up to the other end. It includes a beautiful all-over lace and eyelet design inspired by the beach. The last pattern is the Blue Sand Top by Svetlana Volkova. It comes in 8 sizes with finished bust measurements ranging from 26 to 52.8 inches. It is a simple tank top knitted seamlessly from the top down and uses a garter stitch. The back yoke is first worked down to the armhole before the front shoulder stitches are picked up individually and worked down. The shoulders are connected and the front panel is worked flat until the underarms when the back and the front sections are connected and knitted down in the round. Have you used Sandnes Garn Duo yarn before? What yarn would you like for us to do a review on next? We would love to hear your thoughts and recommendations in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's review, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.